What's up, everybody? Happy New Year! TSC News is back with part 2 of our 2017 WWE Awards, and let's not waste any time as we are set to crown Most Overrated Superstar of the Year. And then Jinder Mahal, well, what can we say? He's a guy that literally went from being a jobber and enhancement talent overnight to WWE champion. I personally think he stepped up great. Got much better on the mic, improved his presence. In the ring, he's fine, but he's not a main event level in the ring. And look, you don't necessarily need everybody to be AJ Styles in the ring. He's more than passable. I just think, the guy, it's such a high standard right now.
He's my pick for this category. Just so you know,
it's such a high standard in ring. I mean,
it is.
I want to cut him some slack.
It's not a believable thing that Jinder Mahal can be WWE champion. That was the issue. It'd be kind of like putting the belt on Rhino at this point, with no disrespect to him.
Yeah.
Well, at least Rhino was my pick. Sure.
I was gonna say, at least Rhino had a run, at one point in his career of relevance. Where Jinder Mahal, I think the only time he really was pushed in WWE was back when he first debuted, I think in 2011 or 12, when he was feuding with the Great Khali for a month, right. And then after that he was kind of a geek ever since.
No, I understand. But like I said, he is my pick just because he got the title, and there was a lot of speculation that it was to help build the Indian market, and you see how well that did because a couple weeks ago Triple H beat Jinder Mahal in India.
Oh my God! So, well, that was ridiculous. I mean, that was ridiculous. Triple H beat Jinder Mahal in India. Triple H 40-something years old.
Jinder Mahal's the heel. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then on top of that, right? With Jinder Mahal. And I don't think this is his fault. He was thrust into this role. They didn't make it organic. They didn't do a slow build. Instead he just kind of got thrust in there. But if you remember, they actually had 2 shows scheduled in India, and because they sold so poorly, they had to merge them into one super show. So
that is correct.
WWE Raw Superstars and Jinder Mahal had to fly out 24 hours just to wrestle one show in India.
Yep.
Yeah. So that, I think they sold less tickets. I mean, of course, they sold less tickets overall because they had only one show. Yeah. So, yeah, kind of sucks for Jinder, but he's doing all right for himself. He made something of himself, but yes, he is overrated, but I think he still has a pretty high ceiling, in my opinion.
I think he has a shot.
I don't know if he's
correctly.
I don't know if he's going to get that much better in ring. He's been around for 13 years.
But he's only 31. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
He's very young.
Look, stranger things have happened. Big Show has only gotten better with age. Big Show.
Well, let's go back real quick, Fred. Speaking of Big Show, you almost have to consider him and Braun Strowman on not the steel cage match, but the match they had on Raw back, what was it, late spring, early spring.
Where they did
that
chain
main
wrestling?
event on Raw. Yeah, and that that was almost a match of the year just because of what it was.
Yeah.
And I want to mention as an honorable mention to most overrated because it's 2017, Randy Orton.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Think about it. 2017, he's the Royal Rumble winner. He wins the WWE title at WrestleMania. He's in a feud with Jinder Mahal where he has multiple title matches, even though one of them was due to Jambi prison match, which was horrible. The guy's been in the main event scene. He just, was in a top match at Clash of the Champions to close out the year. It's 2017. Randy Orton's been around, 15, 16 years now, and this guy is still main eventing and one of the top guys on SmackDown. To me, it's a little bit overrated at this point, Just my opinion.
I'll say this, for as great of a worker as he is, I think he's one of the all-time great WWE workers. He had a terrible year. I mean, I think a lot of it's due to the booking. But think about it. He won the Royal Rumble, right? And then he set Sister Abigail on fire. The last.
That's true. Yeah. He committed arson.
Think about this. Okay. Royal Rumble was entertaining. I wouldn't say it was the best Royal Rumble match ever or anything like that, but it was an entertaining Royal Rumble. He had a great match with Luke Harper at Elimination Chamber, and it was BS that Luke Harper wasn't added into that main event mix. Then you had WrestleMania with projections of maggots and whatever else, like ants or something.
And Randy Orton's snake following him down the entrance, which I don't want to tell you what he said it looked like, but whatever.
Yeah, like, that was weird. And he won the title in, like, maybe the worst WWE title match ever in WrestleMania history. Honestly, other than maybe Miz and John Cena, and that was only really bad because Miz had a concussion in WrestleMania 27. I think that was probably the worst WWE title match of all time at WrestleMania. We had the House of Horrors match, which was terrible, where Randy Orton magically went from, like, scruffy to clean shaven.
And other things, if you remember me talking about that.
Yeah, I think you pointed out he was wearing different undergarments. It was ridiculous.
He was. Just...
And then he had the feud with Jinder Mahal, and kudos to him, he put over Jinder Mahal huge, but those matches weren't that good at all.
Although, let's be honest, in the Punjabi prison, he almost fell from the top and probably would have killed himself.
Yeah.
If you remember,
did you say the pajama prison? It's a Punjabi prison.
No, I said Punjabi. I probably said pajama prison.
Punjabi, Scott.
Look, either way, we're never going to see that again. So that's all.
Hey, don't hold your breath, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with the pajama party or pajama prison match, okay? But I don't... Punjabi prison match. There you
go. that match.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Okay, let's get to another thing right here. Okay, most underrated WWE superstar of the year. The nominees were Cesaro, Cassius Ohno, a.k.a. Chris Hero. I put Jason Jordan on here because I think even though he's languishing in a horrible storyline, he's a very good wrestler. Luke Harper, who recently made his return as one half of the Bludgeon Brothers with Eric Rowan. And Chad Gable. And frankly, even though he's not on this list, in a way you could technically put Sheamus on there. Because I think Sheamus has been around for so long, he's kind of underappreciated, and he's been having great matches for a long time throughout his career, and especially this year with Cesaro. So, those are the nominees. I'll give you the fan results, and then you can give me your results, Scott.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cesaro won with a whopping 57%. Now, I know he's been the perennial winner of this award for various media outlets and everything, but I really don't think it should have been him this year. While I do think he should be a huge single star, while I do think he should have been a world champion by now, and it's ridiculous that Vince McMahon doesn't seem at that level, the guy's been a featured performer and a 3-time tag team champion this year. And he's been having great matches each and every single week. So it's kind of hard for me to call Cesaro... he's underrated for sure, but he's been prominently featured, especially his last few months with the Shield. Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, great worker, one of the best workers in the business, has been for a long time. He's gotten some TV time in NXT, had a great match with Johnny Gargano. He's had some good matches here and there on TV, but you can make the strong argument this dude should not only be in the main event mix of NXT consistently, but on the main roster. I know aesthetically his look isn't that great these days compared to the old Chris Hero, but he's just a great worker. Jason Jordan, he's very good. You can make the argument he's missing that charisma factor that his old tag team partner Chad Gable has, but he's a guy that consistently has good matches, and because of the fact that he's programmed as Kurt Angle's son, even though he's not really his son and fans can see through it, he's not really gotten over. Luke Harper, back now with Eric Rowan. It's great that he's getting a push, but it's ridiculous that they kept him off TV for all those months. This is a guy that was on the verge of being in one of the main events of WrestleMania. In retrospect, he should have been thrust into that main event mix with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. I think he would have made it significantly more interesting. You could have also extended the feud, too, where you could have had Randy Orton pin Luke Harper to win the title at WrestleMania, or Bray pin Luke Harper, and then continue their feud, so that way it kind of prolonged Bray's title run a little bit, because he only held the title for like 90 days. I think he definitely deserved better. And then Chad Gable. Yeah, right now he's in a tag team with Shelton Benjamin. He's doing his thing. But he's a guy that when he was in NXT, a lot of people pegged him as perhaps the next Kurt Angle. And I know that's a huge comparison, a lofty comparison to make. But the guy within a year was pretty damn great.
And he had a very good match with AJ Styles, too, on SmackDown.
That he did. And John Cena and when John Cena was cutting that promo on Roman Reigns, he even shouted out Chad Gable.
Yes, he did.
So, to me, that shows that, John Cena, locker room leader, all-time great, certainly sees him in high regard. But, so Cesaro won with 57%, followed by Chad Gable with 17%, Luke Harper with 13%, Jason Jordan 9%, and surprisingly Cassius Ohno in last place at 4%, which kind of surprised me. Scott, who's your most overrated superstar of the year?
No, the underrated, correct?
Or, I'm sorry, underrated. Yeah, Thank you.
None of those guys on the list.
Really? Wow.
Really.
Okay.
You're not going to like this. The fans aren't going to like this, but to me, it's Finn Balor.
That's actually not that bad of a choice. I don't know why I didn't think about putting him on the ballot before.
Yeah, and it's not just because of, the last couple of weeks we've heard Vince is not high on him. What's the guy really done this year? And he's probably the top 3 best guys in WWE, all of WWE. What's he really done? He's had no title, no big matches. He's been in a few with the Miztourage. And this guy is awesome.
He got chokeslammed by Kane.
He got destroyed by, let's be correct, a couple times. I mean, what's he done? I'll be honest with you. I can't even remember any of his pay-per-view matches except for AJ Styles. Yeah. I don't remember who he wrestled at SummerSlam. I don't. I mean, to me, he might. If you don't want to go underrated, I would say underutilized might be a better category for him. But either way,
I agree. He's had a lot of random TV matches with mid-card guys that couldn't carry his jock.
I mean, he had a mini feud with Elias,
where he lost.
And he had a few with Bray Wyatt where he lost. That's who he wrestled at SummerSlam. That's right. It was Bray Wyatt. So, yeah, I mean,
you know what? I didn't put worst feud category, but Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor could definitely be in that category. Actually,
thankfully, that never had to come to an end.
Yeah,
culminated.
You know what we should do? We should just make an honorary worst feud of the year award and just give it to Bray Wyatt every year. And whoever Bray Wyatt feuds with, that should be the award. So Bray Wyatt,
he could go versus Finn Balor. He could go versus Randy Orton.
Okay. You know what? Bray Wyatt, you get the worst feud of the year award. But yeah, most underrated Finn Balor. I like that. That's actually a really good pick because he is on TV every week and he wins more often than not. But he absolutely could be in a better spot. You're 100% right there. So thank you for that. Okay. Most improved WWE superstar of the year. I listed the following: Jinder Mahal, Braun Strowman, Andrade Cien Almas, Alexa Bliss, and I know it's technically 2 superstars here, but the Authors of Pain. Now, Jinder Mahal, as we mentioned before, stepped up his game in terms of personality and mic skills and presence. Braun Strowman got a hell of a lot better in the ring and has really a good grasp of his character. Andrade Cien Almas, the former La Sombra, great worker. But he had a hard time adjusting to the American style. You can make the argument that maybe WWE tried to, take him as a square peg and fit him in a round hole, and it was kind of both parties' faults. But really, these last few months, especially with Zelina as his valet and him winning the NXT title, he has significantly improved and adapted with the American style, especially being a guy that wrestled with a mask all his career. I think he's done a great job.
Of you can't wrestle, so
yeah, which shows that those fans know.
That's true.
Alexa Bliss, I don't know if she's gotten that much better in the ring. In fact, I actually think she's kind of weak in ring. But personality-wise, she's got a great grasp of it. Really good mic skills. And then the Authors of Pain, who just a year before I was calling the Authors of Lame. I did not care for these guys at all. I definitely was a little too harsh on these guys. Mainly because I wanted to see DIY Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano hold the tag titles forever. But you can't get everything in life. But they've definitely improved over this last year. And again, like Braun Strowman, they've really kind of embraced their roles as these monstrous dudes and just play them to perfection with Paul Ellering. So those are my top 5 most improved superstar of the year. Fans voted Braun Strowman with an overwhelming 82%, followed by Jinder Mahal with 12%, Alexa Bliss with 6%, and no votes whatsoever for Authors of Pain and Andrade Cien Almas.
I think for me it's Andrade Cien Almas, just because, like I said, he was getting chance at house shows. If you can't wrestle, he came in kind of good and just kind of faded, and like you said, the style just wasn't working. And this was a guy you could almost kind of read it on his face. Just let me out of here, let me go back and do my thing. And now he's NXT champion, and to me, I think that's the improvement. Jinder. Again, I think there were situations why he became champion. Braun Strowman, we knew. Alexa, like you said, in ring it is what it is. She's a good promo, pretty good promo. The attitude, the character is good for her. The authors of pain are good. A lot of people still, they're very green still, but they're monsters. So they're only going to get better. I think it's Almost.
Yeah, I think Almost has been just tremendous. And again, it's kind of hilarious that people are chanting, "You can't wrestle." And also, if you really think about it, dude, he almost kind of ended up like Hideo Itami.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and Hideo Itami now is on 205 Live and everything. That's great for him, but compared to where, yeah, like being in NXT and not doing anything. But man, if you really think about it, like this dude, Hideo Itami, great worker, just could not adapt to the American style, and also injuries too really hampered him. Which is where I think almost, it worked out for him that he was able to stay healthy and kind of tough it out. He's also a lot younger than Itami.
He is.
But, it's crazy to think about that. Man, like, how easily you could have fell into that Itami category.
Absolutely, yep.
Tag Team of the Year. I think I know where you're going with this one. I think you know where I'm going with this one.
We don't even need to, yeah.
I'll just list the nominees here. Usos, The Bar, Hardy Boys, The New Day, and The Shield. I think it's the Usos, right? Slam dunk.
It's yeah. There's no.
They reinvented themselves. That heel turn started awkward at first, and then they just kind of became themselves. They continue to have great. They've always had great matches, but they really stepped it up this year. I feel like they're more themselves. I feel like they're
absolutely.
I feel like if I was hanging out with Jimmy and Jay at the club with, this is their personality. There's these two dudes that jaw jack, like they talk trash. They got swag. There's very few guys in WWE, guys or girls, that come off cool, right? And not like
even as bad guys, yeah.
Yeah, and not like a fake cool. Not like somebody wears sunglasses and has their shirt off. And I'm saying like dudes that are legit cool. Dudes that you watch on TV that you're like, you know what, man? Like, I'd love to hang out with these. I would love to chop it up with these dudes. And that's the Usos. Like, they're just these.
I agree.
They're just these cool, smooth dudes, man. Like, they're in touch. They're hip. They rap. I think they rap their own theme song. I mean, they're just like, they can dance. Like, they're just cool.
They're cool, and they've been around for a while. And yeah, I mean, this is great for them.
I love it. And again, they've delivered in the ring, in spades. They've done an amazing job, and I feel like they really are the total package. It's kind of almost not a shame that they're twins, but it's a shame that Vince McMahon kind of looks at them as just a tag team, because I feel like if you took these guys and put them individually on like Raw and SmackDown, and if they actually got a fair shake, like they would do a hell of a job individually too. But because because they're twins, it's a lot tougher. But they're just awesome. They really are.
See, I think some guys just need to be a tag team, and I know, like you said, they're twins, and it is what it is. But those are guys who just need to be a tag team. Mm-hmm. Like Jordan and Gable just needed to be a tag team,
right?
And things like that. Not to cut you off with that thought, but the Usos are great as a team. I don't know if they could do what they do individually. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think one of my, I'll go skip ahead maybe to a bold prediction for 2018. I think if the New Day breaks up, I think you're going to see that happen with them. Whereas a team, they're great. Individually, they might all get by, but it's not going to be the same.
Right, and it's the same thing with the Shield, although I'll say this, and I think it's mainly by default because WWE's protected Roman Reigns so freaking much to the point of nauseum. You look at Roman Reigns this year, he's come off as a star throughout the whole year. Seth Rollins really lost a lot of momentum after WrestleMania, and then Dean Ambrose, I mean, that guy was in kind of like the creative purgatory, and the Shield reunion has really turned him around, turned up his intensity. He seems a lot more motivated, and I mean, they are a great trio, but it's weird. Everyone's like, I want the Shield to be back, and I'm happy the Shield's back, but it's very clear, and I think it's mainly by design. Roman Reigns comes off by far as the biggest star, and as the guy that people are taking most seriously. And it's kind of a shame because I don't mind that, but I wish it happened organically. I feel like they marginalized everybody else just to get over Roman Reigns rather than just kind of letting him sink or swim on his own. Well,
it's kind of like that's why they put the Shield back together, just to get Roman over more, because obviously the boos are not helping.
Right.
So, but it's kind of funny because on one show he'll come out with the Shield with Dean and Seth and get cheered, and then he'll come out by himself in the main event and get booed. It's just so awkward. It's so strange.
It's hilarious. Okay, Best commentator. I listed the following: Mauro Ranallo, Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Nigel McGuinness. Honorable mention, Booker T. I know he wouldn't win ever, but he's just so off the rails. I love it, and he keeps things entertaining.
Yes, he does.
My commentator of the year would be Corey Graves. I think he's just done a great job. Moro's a great broadcaster, but I just feel like he's a little too over the top sometimes. It comes off kind of forced with some of his references and everything. That's actually kind of why I like him a little bit more in boxing. I feel like he doesn't feel the need to do that in boxing and everything, and he's just kind of straight up calling the matches. He's really good, but and great at times. But Corey Graves, to me, I think he's got that balance because he knows how to please Vince McMahon and that WWE style, that WWE speak, but he also kind of interjects his own personality. And given the time he's been a commentator, it's only been 3 years. I think he's done a tremendous job.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
He's great. Okay, and then as far as the last award that we have right here, this is kind of an interesting one. This is the one I kind of leave up to your interpretation, Scott.
Sure.
Best non-WWE wrestler of the year. Now it could be somebody you watched in ROH. It could be somebody you watched in Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch a lot of Lucha Libre this year.
No.
So do not necessarily take my opinion as gospel, but I think a lot of people would agree with it. I'd have to flip a coin and say it's between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada, two guys who one day down the road you could see in WWE. Kenny Omega, I think, has done a great job. Him and Okada have had some great matches. If you guys have read about them, heard about them, I would definitely go out of your way to seek those out. But I gonna say Kazuchika Okada. For those that aren't familiar with him, he's the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion. That's New Japan Pro Wrestling's top title. New Japan Pro Wrestling airs stateside on Access TV. You can check your local listings there. You can also watch their matches on New Japan World, NJPWWorld.com. And they actually have a lot of free matches on their YouTube channel. So if you just search NJPW on YouTube, you should be able to watch a lot of the free matches if you want to see what they're about. It's the promotion that helped turn AJ Styles' career around, to help make Nakamura, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, a lot of the guys you see on TV right now.
Yep.
Yeah, Prince Devitt, a.k.a. Finn Balor. But
it's going to also in 2018 make this new guy called Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Chris Jericho, of course, going to be wrestling Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome. But the reason I go with Kazuchika Okada is because I've seen almost every match he's had this year, especially his singles matches. And in my lifetime, and granted I'm a young guy, I've been watching wrestling for like 20 years. And I've gone back and watched like all the, a lot of the past matches and years and stuff. But I gotta say, like, he might be having the best in-ring year ever. Now, a lot of people say Ric Flair back in 1989 had a better in-ring year, but not to date myself here, but I was, kind of barely born yet. I've seen a lot of Ric Flair's matches from then with Ricky Steamboat, and they were phenomenal. And Ric Flair overall may be the greatest wrestler of all time, total package-wise, other than maybe Shawn Michaels. But what Okada's been able to do under the age of 30, to be the longest reigning New Japan Pro Wrestling champion, to have great matches, not only with Kenny Omega, who a lot of people are comparing to like the Chris Jericho in his prime, but he's wrestled a guy like Bad Luck Fale, who would kind of be the equivalent of like a lesser scaled Braun Strowman. He fought a stiff guy in Katsuyori Shibata in a great match. You can kind of compare his hard hitting style to Samoa Joe. Like, he's had so many great matches with so many different people, and he's just been consistent overall. And it's just incredible. So, I know not everybody here watches New Japan. You've probably heard about him at some point on the internet. Definitely, for me, lives up to the hype. If there's another guy other than Kenny Omega who I'd make an honorable mention, somebody we got to give love to. You know what? Maybe not in the ring, but just overall what his impact is on the independent wrestling scene. I'd have to say Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, and maybe you want to throw in the entire Bullet Club there, because for Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club to get T-shirt deals at Hot Topic, to be reportedly the hottest selling T-shirt in Hot Topic, which is a mainstream clothing store. It's not like it's like just a place you go to buy wrestling stuff.
No, it's not at all a place you go to buy wrestling.
And for Cody Rhodes to go from being Stardust and have his career go nowhere in WWE to being the top draw on the independent scene and wrestling all over the world, and now currently, the Ring of Honor World Champion. I mean, that, or at least at the time of recording this, still the Ring of Honor Champion. That, to me, speaks volumes. And yeah, in the ring, he's had some pretty good matches. I wouldn't say he's had a lot of great matches, but just I think his overall impact and kind of continuing to break down barriers on the independent scene, and showing some of these guys that are maybe in WWE right now, they're unhappy. Maybe showing them, hey, there is life outside of WWE. You can make it happen. You can make a living. So, again, not from an in-ring standpoint, but just from a accomplishment standpoint, I gotta say maybe Cody Rhodes.
No, you nailed all three of them. I agree. We could even go feud of the year, Okada Omega. We could go superstar of the year, Kenny Omega. And just think, TNA at one time had Okada on their roster.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
But they also had Tetsuya Naito on the roster, who's headlining the Tokyo Dome with Okada. They had Hiroshi Tanahashi, the current Intercontinental Champion for New Japan. Yeah, TNA definitely screwed up. And actually, you know what? Technically, at the moment, Chris Jericho's a non-WWE superstar. Technically. So you could technically call him the best non-WWE superstar of the year. Solely, solely for the amount of interest he's generated for New Japan.
True.
Yeah.
He could be superstar of the year just in WWE alone.
True. He had a great year too.
He did. He did. And an honorable mention as well, and I wanted to mention this earlier, and I forgot, for superstar of the year, why not mention The Miz? That guy had a great year. Let's be honest.
I think 2016 was a better year for him than this year. But he had a good year. He lost a lot more matches than he won, unfortunately. I feel like last year he had kind of like a better win-loss record, and he had the strong feud with Ziggler and and all that jazz. But no, he had another great year. I would like to see him push more. It'd be awesome if in a perfect world he won the Royal Rumble. But I don't think it's going to happen, No. But hey, he's definitely turned his career around the last couple of years. So, man, overall, I think we covered all bases. Scott, is there any other observations you'd like to make about 2017 going into 2018?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you that. It's going to kick off. It's going to have a hell of a kickoff with Jericho and Omega. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And, let's see where it goes. I mean, let's just keep it simple.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see where it goes. And folks, if you enjoyed this show, please tune in every single week on MNN. You can also catch all our episodes on thesportscourier.com, youtube.com/thesportscourier. Just click that subscribe button. Don't forget to enable notifications. You can follow us on Twitter @SportsCourier, @TSC News on Instagram, Facebook.com/thesportscourier. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, enjoy the matches.